With deep love, let us think of God and Sri Gurudev, and we'll chant Om 3 times together. Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Gurave Namaha. I bow to God. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to all of you. I bow to Sri Gurudev, and I bow to the entire creation. Om. Amen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, first let me begin. Today I came with a special dress. And this dress is quite old. It is 1996. Then this year is, so 28 years old, this dress. And this shirt has many holes. This, and some repaired, some, here is hole, there are quite a few. So you'll tell why this shirt has its memory. Can this shirt has memory? It carries memory. This shirt, this total outfit, not the t-shirt and inner, this. Gurudev and me both, and Gurudev has held his hand on my shoulder, so he has touched these shirts. From 96 onwards, many fire ceremonies in presence of Gurudev also, like here. This morning the thought came to me, I should put on this. You know, I love old clothes. I love old people also. Do you know, many people don't love old people. Some people, when they grow old, they become sweeter. And some people, when they grow old, they become bitter or sour. Some people in their old age really like angels. And some people, because of their conduct, behavior, they become so isolated, lonely. It's very sad. However, I love old clothes. It's old, but it is usable, nice. And there are many photos like this with Gurudev. And one day I was sitting with Gurudev, one long-time disciple, and he was a retired principal, very nice person. He entered Gurudev's room. So he looked at me out of little humor, but he didn't know that this humor is also a little bit towards Gurudev. He didn't know this. Looking at me, he said, Baba, I have something to say. He said, yes. The brahmacharis live like kings, die like dogs. Because they don't have family. Who look after them? Then Gurudev said, don't say that very word. Sometimes Gurudev has this expression, don't say that very word. Brahmacharis live like king and die like king. Gurudev said. After that man left, Gurudev said, he forgot that I'm a brahmachari. Because he's talking to you, he's also talking to me. He forgot it. Do you know, Gurudev told that we all are growing. We all are growing older. But we should see what is real change in us. What is our change? If we don't change, then Gurudev told, we have come to this world in empty hands. We leave this world in empty hands. We came to this world, but we should not live empty. We should live with inner fulfillment or complete fullness. When Gurudev came to stay in Puri, his health was not good. We heard from Joachim Baba that he was talking of his blood pressure. Gurudev had quite a fuse. His first sickness was chronic dysentery. Puri water during those days, it was not good. And when there is dysentery, to sit longer for meditation, in between you have to run. They call amoebic dysentery because of some amoeba in water. Gurudev was very skinny at that time. And his health became so bad, he thought maybe I cannot stay here longer. I have to go back. When he was living in Puri, he was going to Jagannath temple quite often. So one day when he went to Jagannath temple, he was observing silence. But he talked whenever it was really needed. And inside the temple, usually, even later on, he would not talk. So he went and he bowed to Lord Jagannath and told, "Oh Lord Jagannath, I came to you to meditate. Can you not allow me at least 6 months to meditate nicely? And with this health condition, what is happening? Just this much." Then he left. He wanted to buy some fruit. So he was indicating the fruit vendor, give me this fruit. So he was weighing. And he had his friend, he was conversing with his friend. And Gurudev was from Bengal. They were talking in Odia. That fruit vendor was telling, by taking fruit, do you think that your health will be good? He was telling his friend, not Gurudev. If you want good health, you should go to this Ayurvedic doctor. He will look at your pulse, will tell what trouble you have. Treat the trouble, then eat fruit. Otherwise, that friend they were talking. It was a continuation, but Gurudev heard this much. What Gurudev believed, Lord Jagannath is telling this. So he took fruit from him, paid money, and went to the Ayurvedic doctor. The doctor looked at his pulse and then gave some medicine. And Gurudev got completely cured. Then later on, describing this story, this fruit vendor, Gurudev said, "Do you know, Lord Jagannath is very kind. I asked for 6 months. He allowed me 36 years. I asked for 6 months. He allowed me 36 years till 1974. I was in Puri, India, Puri, but he stayed there. And Gurudev, he was very practical. Who doesn't want good health? So Gurudev did two things. One thing, even if he was meditating, he was doing some asanas, not just because he was confining himself inside the room. You sit longer, so the body, joint, muscle, circulation, it should be good. Gurudev told me, do you know, I had a mosquito net. The mosquito net was so tall, high, you can do your headstand. He said, I was practicing headstand inside the mosquito net. He prepared special mosquito net. Later on, he wanted some little bit, muscle building. He had dumbbell and other stuff, and he started doing sometimes this, and he encouraged the school students to do something. So in the school, in the ashram, there was a school. And in the ashram premises, there was a mini gymnasium. So it is good, people can use it, but Gurudev is using for a few minutes now and then. So later on, young people from Puri, some people, they want to do some. So they came, they knew that here there are some tools they can do. So they came. So Gurudev was initially happy, then he became unhappy. Do you know why? Young people coming doing this. Young people who come maintain discipline in ashram. To ashram, some devotees were coming. Devotees had young daughter or young sister, and these young people doing this and showing the muscle to these young ladies. Gurudev said, I don't know what Gurudev told me. He said, I wanted to stop it. So I donated this to a government gymnasium. I donated everything, finished. Gurudev told those who really love God, they have to love nature. Gurudev was very fond of flowers. He really loved flowers. You can't imagine. In Shooting Agase, in Miami ashram, in his room, how much flowers were there. It was a good work every day morning just to change water, to organize flowers. It is a daily morning seva. Our Anikoma in Miami and in Shooting Agase also, there are quite a few photos Gurudev sitting with all these flowers. His room was just like a mini, but flower in pots. Gurudev, when he stayed in Puri, he really made this ashram premises. Ashram did not have boundary wall, no fence, nothing. So Gurudev did in his own hand, even during his sadhana period, cleaning this ashram property, making, in the beginning there was no boundary wall, but later on boundary wall. First he made fence, with plants, and then boundary wall. Then Yukteswarji's Samadhi temple was built. Yukteswarji left his body in 1936. Samadhi temple was built in 1951, 15 years after. Gurudev was really sad that There was no temple. It was just small shade and its mound of sand, and stray dogs were coming and sleeping there. And I have heard from Gurudev's word, it is not only stray dogs, because in Puri seaside there are Bengali hotels. They will bring all non-veg food, will put it there, like this. So Gurudev wrote letters to Yoganandji. Yoganandji sent some money, and Yoganandji's brother came. So Gurudev, come back to Gurudev's flower. Gurudev planted rose, chrysanthemums, dahlia. Dahlia, Gurudev was telling, it will be bigger than, he was telling, bigger than your head. He was telling me. And I have seen dahlia even bigger. So in India, if a child would not have steal flowers, is not a good child. You'll say, what? I have stolen. In our childhood, we used to go and steal flowers. I was a good flower thief. I did not pluck rose or expensive flower. There are flowers, those who bloom every day. So bring those flowers. However, during Saraswati Puja comes in the month of January, February. And winter time, lots of flowers in ashram. Ashram is just like, I'll tell this story later on. What happened, I was going to tell. One day, I met 3 sisters-in-laws, 3 brothers married to 3 ladies. So the 3 sisters-in-laws were Gurudev's disciple. One of them was a professor of philosophy. Then when I was visiting their home, it was in maybe 40 years ago, 41, 42 years ago. She told that philosophy mother, she told, when I was a college student, I was studying in Puri. Somebody told, there is a place in Puri full of flowers. And I had a camera. You imagine, she was telling in 1960s. During those days, it was not so common to have camera and this. I called few of my friends, girls, to come there and have photos. So these 3, 4 girls, college-going girls, young, and sitting there and posing for a photo, and Gurudev came. When Gurudev came, they got so scared. They thought that they will be getting scolded. Gurudev smiled at them. You are a college student? Yes. You have come here to the ashram? Yes. You should bow to Yukteswarji, get his blessings. You want photographs? Very nice. She could not imagine that a sadhu can be so sweet, smiling. And you can imagine Gurudev was quite, in 60s, you were in 50s. Then she told, when I got initiated later on, long after that she finished her studies, she had her job, she married to an attorney, living in Cuttack. She was talking of ashram, flower, and getting photographed. Now come back to my original story. In Puri, these young people, they are little unruly. They have muscles, and really, they call in local Puri young people. So they came at night time, they stole, the flowers were in the vase, big flowers, so they stole, maybe in 100. In the morning, somebody came and reported, the flowers are stolen. So what happened, Gurudev saw, then he smiled, then he went outside. He saw that they have stolen at night, it is early in the morning, the flower petals of full-bloomed, dahlia, rose, it has fallen on the road. So he went and he traced the place where all these flower pots are arranged in a nice way, the altar of Mother Saraswati, Saraswati Puja. So Gurudev said, my young friends, you have stolen all this. And some young person, he was really upset with Gurudev, started to shout, and few other came forward. Gurudev said, hey ma. Then Gurudev left. When Gurudev left, what happened there, one of the young men got, while they were shouting, got the dislocation of the lower jaw. And they thought this sadhu has done something. Because people believe that sadhu can do this, that. So holding that, Gurudev has left. Holding that young man, and few other young men came to ashram. You stole, now you have come to chastise Gurudev. You did this to him, heal him. What Gurudev would do? He has done nothing. Then he looked at them and smiled. And that young man, I can display practically, but I'll not do it. I can display with Paripurnananda. He had his under this Guru. It is just fixed like this. Gurudev pulled this. When he pulled this in presence of and it got relocated. When Gurudev was telling this incident, he said, it is presence of mind, nothing spiritual, nothing. Just God gave me the presence of mind. Many times Gurudev told, you know, Gurudev always told, God told, God tells. One day we are serving him breakfast and he's taking breakfast. We are in the room doing something. He said, God is telling me, take the food, put in the mouth and chew. And then he's chewing. I said, what God is telling? You are taking food and putting in the mouth and God is telling you. It's all my young man's mind. God is telling you, God is telling, this is grape. This is grape. Everybody knows what God is telling you. When Gurudev told this, at that time I couldn't understand. When I really grew up, this is when I experienced little more, how vivid and truthful. It's all God. Gurudev said there is no non-God. Everything is God. Sunshine is God. Hot weather is God. Now rain is God. Coolness is God. Everything. But unfortunately, what happens to us, we think only good thing is God. Only good thing, this is not God. I was reading a storybook. In the storybook, when it is one person is torturing the other person is taking it in such a positive way, telling that that person is testing my faith, my strength. So that person is not bad, but is a good, medium to help me to test my strength. Am I becoming reactive? Am I upset? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I reacting? When Gurudev stayed in Kodara ashram, so he wanted to meditate longer. He meditated inside the room. Sometimes he went outside to meditate in the forest. During those days, Puri was very small. Even Peter Baba might tell that when he went in 74, and now Puri has grown quite a bit. So in my young age, it was, and during 30s, 40s, there was really forest. So what Gurudev used to do, take his food wrapped in cloth. The only problem was he took food and some water to drink. He would go early in the morning, come back in the evening. The problem were monkeys. So what Gurudev did, Gurudev will make in sand a pit, put the food, cover it, and then sit and meditate. So this is how Gurudev was going for the whole day, coming back at night, in the evening. Meditating in nature is very good. Meditating in nature, meditating. Gurudev told, do you know, in Jagannath temple there are three principal deities: Balabhadra, Subhadra, and Lord Jagannath. He said this ocean, during those days, Gurudev used to, you can see the ocean from the roof of the ashram. Nowadays you can see, because tall buildings are come. So you see, the ocean is Balabhadra, the gross form of divine. Yukteswarji Subhadra, knowledge. Lord Jagannath is sitting there. So these are three aspects of divinity. Guru is Subhadra, material world is Balabhadra, and Jagannath. Gurudev, I told you that he didn't like fasting. I told you the other day, maybe he didn't like fasting. But he fasted in the beginning a lot. He told me why he stopped fasting. There was a special worship of the Divine Mother. It came for consecutive 2 days, and he fasted for 2 days. But on the third day, early in the morning, he was contracted with Asiatic cholera. And during those days, cholera was really epidemic, and at the same time, many people were losing their lives. And Gurudev was very, health conscious. I'll tell about cholera later on. I'll tell about Gurudev's health consciousness. He was, his father, who was not highly educated, but educated and cultured, he had good knowledge of homeopathy, Ayurveda, little bit of modern medicine. He wanted his sons to be doctors. And his 2 sons were doctors. Gurudev's 2 elder brothers were doctors. The eldest brother studied in Cuttack. Gurudev's eldest brother studied in Cuttack Medical School. The second brother from Kolkata. So Gurudev had good knowledge of medical science. Many times if you listen to Gurudev's talk, he will be talking so much of human anatomy, physiology, nervous system, all this, as if he's a medical teacher, he's talking to his students. He was so, his Kriya talk, even in meditation class. So, however, when Gurudev suffered from this cholera, Gurudev had a particular rickshaw puller. And he was the first rickshaw puller. This is another quality, nature of Gurudev. He was the first rickshaw puller who brought him from train station on the first day of arrival. And he was Gurudev's rickshaw puller for decades. And Gurudev was also very generous. Do you know how he will pay? He will not, if he loves the person, if he trusts, he will hold the money like this, he will not count, he will give in your hand and he will hold it, go. Like this. Don't look, go. And if he knew that, I'll tell one story. The story is Gurudev and me came back by rickshaw. And the rickshaw puller told 2 rupees. Gurudev said 1 rupee. No, 2 rupees. Gurudev said, Baba, never give more than 2 rupees to 1 rupee. I thought Gurudev is so generous. Why he's bargaining with this man? Genuine is 1 rupee. Then I discovered that person is alcoholic. If you give him 2 rupees, he'll go and drink. Give as much as genuine, nothing more. This was Gurudev. Come back, Gurudev's cholera. Gurudev called this rickshaw puller. And the rickshaw puller knows Gurudev. He said, my friend, I have cholera. take me to the cholera hospital. In Puri, at that time, there were two special hospitals. One was TB hospital, is separate. One was cholera hospital, separate. It was not the general hospital. You have to go to, you take me to the cholera hospital. On the way, I might have motion. Please don't be unhappy. After dropping me there, clean your rickshaw, sterilize it, because it should not affect other people. And Gurudev's way. And he went there himself. Nobody is there to attend him. Early in the morning, he went himself. Then he got cured and came back. He decided from that day, finalized, I'll not fast. And he was quite moderate in food. Once Gurudev put on weight, you know this? After coming here. Once he put on weight, and two doctor disciples, they were not happy with Gurudev. Do you know what they did? They kept Gurudev in one doctor's residence and changed the diet. And since that day, Gurudev was quite, never was. Gurudev, if you look at the, Gurudev was very good cook. And for example, Mangalananji, Anjima, what is your name? Amalananji. Gurudev is, many times Gurudev used to come to the kitchen and to see what is there and how to cook. So he was very good cook. And he used to train, he has taught most of the people, even in ashram, he used to tell how to cook with less oil, less spices, but delicious. The food should be palatable, delicious, and not to use too much of oil, not to use too much of spices, but food should be healthy. Very good cook. Gurudev was very good singer. Do you know, how many of you can imagine bathroom singers? And Gurudev was also not only singer in public, he sang in public, but he was a toilet singer. You'll ask, what? It happened in Suttingargasse. Suttingargasse, he had a tape recorder. And he used to go very early in the morning, sitting in that toilet room, singing and recording. Gurudev used to sing and to record every day, one, two songs like this, and he would write down this song, how many minutes, how many seconds, this song, how many minutes, how many seconds, this song. This thing was discovered later, not later. Those who were there, they found that he's singing inside the bus. Then I was thinking, why he's singing there? And he's recording. This is the beauty in Gurudev. Gurudev did not live for himself. Gurudev did not think of his own comfort. Gurudev did not think of, he recorded for us. The voice is there. That Gurudev's voice was really wonderful voice. At least to me, it was nectar-like voice. Gurudev had, hearing aid. So Gurudev told me, in his family, his mother had hearing problem. And I have seen his sisters, two sisters, one younger, one older sister I have seen, both had hearing problem. One day Gurudev was taking his hearing aid and trying to put it in his sister's ear. It was not fitting. Can you hear? Should I make it louder? Can you hear? Yes, yes. So then he said, okay, I'll make arrangement for you for your hearing aid. So Gurudev had one night, Gurudev has finished his food and everything, and he was take rest. So in his room, Mangalananji and me, Gurudev was instructing Mangalananji. He has taken his hearing aid, everything out. He was lying on the bed. You should take care of him as you are taking care of Haryananda, like this. So I whispered. It was just whispering. She's not giving me food. In a very low voice, even not this. Then Gurudev, without hearing it, is telling what? She's not giving you food? Not possible. So he didn't have hearing aid, but he could hear. That. I went with Gurudev to the eye doctor. He had some eye trouble. I'll tell a little more about his eye trouble. He got cataract. So his surgery was done in New York City. And during those days, in India, if you have cataract surgery, you have to use black glasses. You can't see they close the eyes for a couple of days during those days. But when Gurudev got the surgery, nothing is needed. Just everything. He said, Swami, surgery is successful. Gurudev saw everything. It was so clear. He said, I'm so grateful. I'll tell something more before this eye. When Gurudev started living in Miami, it is a common practice in India. We go to doctor, not just to go and pay the fee. Gurudev's going to doctor or the dentist, it was a celebration. Flowers, avocados, fruits, it was to be arranged. Yes or no? You are going to the doctor's office or dentist's office. So from the beginning, he will greet everybody in the counter, give flower to him, give fruit to him. It is, nobody can believe in USA. You go to I remember Gurudev's doctor, who is still now, Dr. Barkett. She was thinking, what is this? Why he's doing all these things? She could not understand. And this is what Gurudev is. So Gurudev and me went to this eye surgery was done. Gurudev was very grateful to the eye surgeon. He said, I'm so grateful to you. You give me the second vision. I see so clearly. He said, but don't give too much of strain to your eyes. Gurudev was so excited. He started writing letters. Gurudev was very good in writing letter, and you should, if you want to see his handwriting, in my time with the master, there are some letters, original letters, very tiny like this. And he will write letters to send India, not to one person. He will write to 10 people or 15 people, this much, this much, this much, this much. Same thing he did from there to Europe also, or USA. This much, you have to cut it. And he wrote letters. Then he got a little pain in the eye. The eye became a little red. And when he went next day to the doctor said, you are a naughty child. So I will cover up your eyes. You put strain on your eyes. So now let us go with Gurudev. We went to Chennai for Gurudev's eye checkup. Gurudev, the doctor with the primary examination is telling, Swamiji, since how long you are using the glasses? Gurudev looked. He said, from my teenage. So young. Then later on, Gurudev told me, do you know what happened to me? Why did I use glasses from my teenage? I looked at him. Then he said, I had some funny idea in my head to meditate on the song. I looked at the sun and started meditating from sunrise, and sun is rising up and I am looking up without blinking the eyes. It affected my vision. That is why he said, many times we do mistake, and that mistake you can repair it. So now this doctor is asking, Swamiji, when you look at things, do you see light? He said, yes, yes, I see light on your head. On this place, I see golden color light, so thick. I was thinking, oh God, let them not think that Baba is, what is talking of this light? And I was thinking that they will think that Baba is this. Then the doctor was quite smart. He said, Swamiji, I'm not talking of divine light. I'm talking of, this is what Gurudev is. Gurudev was guiding meditation. It was in Katak. When he was guiding meditation, somebody came and sat in the back during meditation class. Gurudev looked at him and didn't say anything. He was not initiated, nothing, just sat, not doing anything. After the meditation was over, when people were bowing, Gurudev called that man, sit down. When people left, he told him, what did you do today? He got shocked. What did you do today? I saw on your head black, hollow. He said, I have murdered a person today. Why did you come here? He said, I came just to have little peace. Gurudev said, will you follow me? He said, yes. Go on to the police station and tell that what you have done. This happened. When we are talking of Gurudev, it's very easy to, as I told you, easy to misunderstand him. If anybody will go, he will look at the person, look at the eyes, he will look like this. He will look at the chest, he will look like this. And one who doesn't know why he's looking like this, looking at your eyes, looking at your chest, he used to look how you are breathing, how your eyes, and he, as I told you, his eyes were not eyes. He used to, Gurudev called me to his room. He said, Suddhananda's mother is very unhappy. His son became a monk, her son became a monk. Do you know what she has done? I looked at him. It was 95 May. Gurudev came from India to Sutingagase. He has gone to Vicintipur Ashram. She wanted to see whether there is a bed for her son to sleep or not. There is pillow for him, or he is sleeping with brick. Brick as the pillow. Because, do you know what happened? She went there, she saw the ashram, she was happy. She went to the garden. In the garden, there is Malabar spinach. What is Malabar spinach? There is a special green creeper they cook in Odisha, Bengal, Pui shak. And she was so happy. She loves to cook. And when she saw this, she forgot that her son is a monk. I thought, how does he know I'm telling all this? Because there is no letter, nothing. After next day, or narrating this story, the letter came from Vicintipur that she has visited to Vicintipur Ashram. One day Gurudev told, out of casual conversation, he said, if I want to know, I know. If I don't want to know, I don't know. One day, this was in this office room, this ashram's office room, telephone came. I was to go to airport. The telephone came and I was talking to him. I'll tell a little bit more about talking to him over telephone. We had a telephone. That was our first telephone in my life in ashram. It was in Kotak, Jagatpur. But the telephone, we didn't have money at that time. It had, you can have incoming call from anywhere, but outgoing call only local. You can do long distance call. So that was the provision in that telephone because we can pay. So one evening I went to a temple, came back. We didn't have electricity in the ashram, but we had telephone. So the residents in the ashram were really full of spirit. What happened? Did Gurudev call you? Yes. Gurudev called and spoke to each one of us. Yes. What did he tell? He was searching for you. Then he said, you should call him. I can't call. So I went to the nearby telephone booth. So I had my dhoti, my usual clothes. Normally, a person will think that he's a villager. Dhotis, this who ordinarily putting on trouser, this. So I called Gurudev. Gurudev picked up telephone and we are talking. Gurudev is talking. I'm just telling Baba, yes, Baba, Baba, yes, Baba, Baba, yes, Baba. Like this, it was. So there is a monitor where the price is going up. You can see how much, and it was few hundred rupees during those days. Over 500 rupees during those days. It was quite a lot of money. And that man, telephone booth owner, he thought I am crazy. I'm not talking, I'm just telling Baba, yes, Baba, the telephone bill is going high. I have money or not. He was coming and poking me and showing this. Then Gurudev asked, from where are you calling? I said, Baba, from a pay booth, telephone booth. He said, such a long time I spoke, but must be a lot of money. Okay, thank you. This, then I paid him the money. When I came here, it was nice when Gurudev used to call, or those who were here during those days, they used to connect Gurudev, they talk, and then Gurudev used to talk. Because from India to call, it is quite expensive. And I'll tell a little more about the telephone. I went first time to Australia. It was 97 February. And I was not willing to go, but Gurudev told me to go. So the total program, I was told that hundreds of people will take initiation, but before going, I told the others, who is telling 100? You got zeros, maybe 1 or 2 initiations. And the same thing happened. In Sydney, 1 initiation. You go from USA, I'm not calling Gurudev. Gurudev is waiting for my telephone call. When you stay in somebody's home, nowadays you can't imagine you have your own mobile telephone, you can talk and this, that. I did not want to be burdened. Because long distance call, then Gurudev is waiting. Gurudev told Sadgurur Podakapal. Sadgurur Podakapal. He has gone to Australia, he is not calling me. Do you know what is Sadgurur Podakapal? It's a bad luck of Guru. The bad luck of the Guru, he's not calling. Then Gurudev called, told somebody to call him then. When I was in this office and he called, when he called, did you know this thing? I said, yes, Baba. You knew this thing? I said, yes, Baba. You didn't tell me? I said, yes, Baba. I didn't tell. Why you did not tell me? It is awfully bad. Why did you not tell me? You knew this? I told, Baba, will I tell? Yes. He was that time little. I thought my Gurudev is omniscient. He knew everything. Still then you should have told me. I told Baba, I did not want to talk against anybody, and especially your Gurudev. Then he said, still then you should have told. Then he changed the topic. I was getting delayed to go to the airport. Then that was one day he told, still then you could have talked. Gurudev was, you know, another, it was in Kodar Ashram, program going on. And those who have gone in the month of March, during those days, Western disciples stayed outside in the hotels or guest houses. Indian disciples, they stay in the meditation hall, pack, veranda, pack. When I came first time to Kodar Ashram on March 22nd, during those period, I was sleeping. I was not initiated. I was sleeping on the veranda of Sri Yukteswar's temple. There I was sleeping. So Gurudev got up and Gurudev had a special way to call me. Gurudev's room was below. I was staying upstairs. So he had a stick. He will hit. Then I will run down. So Gurudev came out. I came with him. So I followed him. He went to the meditation hall. I followed him. Everybody is sleeping. Nobody is awake. One person is suffering from fever, and he didn't have something to cover his body. Gurudev had his shawl. He told me, carefully cover his body so that he will not be disturbed. So I covered his body. Then Gurudev slowly left. I left. Then he went to his room. I went upstairs. Early in the morning, I wanted to see what is going on. This man who was sleeping with fever, when he got up, he saw Gurudev's shawl on his body. He could not believe how could this go. And Gurudev's body had a special smell. His clothes also had people can smell his clothes. And he sat and started crying. That surely Gurudev, I was just silently witnessing what is going on. In the morning when Gurudev's room was opened, the same man came with the shawl folded nicely. And he really cried loudly and wanted to return the shawl. Gurudev told, no, this shawl is for you. Take it with you. When you'll sit for meditation, put it on your body. Feel that Guru is holding you. It is not the shawl. Guru is holding you and meditate. If you think like this, Gurudev's life, Gurudev's quality, it is such unimaginable, human, at the same time spiritual. Again, to remind, Gurudev told again and again that we should know that we are God in human being in God. He told this. Then Gurudev said, we all have God-like potentialities of kindness, love, and compassion. We have God-like potentiality. And scriptures tell the words of the Gurus are not his words. It is mantra mulam. They're like mantras. And he's not just telling to encourage us that we have. But our own nature, own karmic impact, own impression from the past, we do not want to give up all this, to be in that state. That is the problem. We have to work on ourselves, changing our mind and habit, our thinking pattern, and tuning our mind towards Guru and Guru's words. When I stayed with Gurudev, one thing happened. It was, I really appreciate, this thought came to me. First, I came to him in 1980, 81, so on. I got initiated later on. Then Initially, I listened to him what he's talking, and when he was talking, and he specifically quoted from the scripture, Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 27 verse. Then he will quote the verse. In the Bible, Genesis 1 by 27, this. From Corinthians, 1st Corinthians, this chapter, this, he was talking like this. So, Upanishad, this mantra. In the beginning, I thought, nobody's looking at why he's talking all this. Maybe he's just talking like this. Can anybody remember exact quotations, exact reference? So in the beginning, I brought these books, kept with me. When he was telling Bhagavad Gita this, I was opening. And it's true. What he was telling, it was exactly the same verse. Then I started writing. Whatever he was teaching, I was writing. Then I saw that whatever I'm writing, you can't write everything because he speaks in a flow. I was writing in a cryptic way, but still then I was missing. Then I thought, maybe if I can have a tape recorder. And during those days in India, to find good tape recorder was not possible. Moderate, it is okay, but there's big Philips tape recorder, so big. To carry, it is difficult. Cassettes, expensive. So in 1986, I got a small Japanese tape recorder. It was tape recorder and radio together. It was cute. So I started recording. I recorded what I did during those days when Gurudev would not be there. Not just meditation, he would play and listen and meditate. His talks, conversation, whichever I recorded, because it was also expensive, the cassettes during those days. What I was doing, I was transcribing. As I told you maybe the other day, I have nearly 1,000 pages of my own handwriting transcription, which I found. So listening to his voice and transcribing, listening forward, backward, listen. What happened to me, that his words, it was in my heart. All the time his voice was ringing in me. And Gurudev was so particular. Again and again he will ask, are you watching your breath? Are you watching your breath? How long you are forgetting? If you forget, you are no more. So again and again he was reminding. So it is so nice during this program, when I got this note, can you speak on the divine qualities of Gurudev? To sit and to think of him, to speak about him, to feel him, it's so beautiful. As a young student, I read about Sri Ramakrishna, I read about other masters, but when I lived with him, and I always compared, the mind compares. So it was really a great opportunity to be with him, to think of him, now to write. I'll conclude this with that in my life, I have seen many great spiritual masters. Even till now, I meet many beautiful, highly elevated. But a person who is so free, so open, there was a holy man who didn't allow his feet to be touched. Gurudev had a disciple who is still alive from 60s. He was a professor of political science, Chitta Baba, Chittaranjan Das, Chitta Baba. So when he went to this holy man, so he was told that you shouldn't touch his feet. He was very little outspoken. He said, she smiled. He said, one thing I understood. Everybody asked, what did you understand? That holy man is sitting. He said, what did you understand? He said, one thing I understood, that my impurities are so high that your spirituality is very low. Huh? He said, my impurity is so much, your spirituality is so low, you are afraid of my impurity. That's why you don't let me to touch your feet. But I have a teacher. Then he spoke about Gurudev. So Gurudev was lying down. People were giving little massage. So I was sitting in a corner and doing the work. So two persons giving massage. One person is pushing the other one to have little bigger person. So Gurudev started snoring. So they stopped massaging, bowing, and left the room. Then when they left the room, Gurudev looked at me and told, did you see the devotion? Even near the Guru, people can say he is no more. He is. He was in a form, now he is informless with all of us. Let us close our eyes for a moment. With deep love, let us think of God and Sri Gurudev. Let us pray to God and Gurudev. Please guide me, teach me, discipline me, train me to be a better person. I am your child. I will grow up with love, kindness, and compassion. I bow to you. I bow to God. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation. Let there be peace, progress, and prosperity everywhere. Om. Amen. Thank you all.